All right, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. April 25th. I am your creator of the TCP SuperSystem. Got a good short one for you today. Going to talk about XRP, why it's going to go to the moon, baby. And we're going to show you our system and some alerts we got in today, including Bitcoin. A couple of videos from our X page, and this will be a quick one, so stay tuned, and then we'll wrap this sucker up. Just to put this out there, if you have any cryptos or equities you want us to put through the system, please put those down in the comments. We will review the comments after each stream and try to incorporate those into its own stream or part of another one. Again, I'll tell you, the super system that I developed over 2 to 3 years does a remarkable job of helping us identify areas of opportunity to create alpha returns that are far superior to what you would typically get in the markets. So we put this stuff out there for free. With that said, we do have to say none of it's financial advice, whether it's the system, the indicators, the signals, the interpretations. I'm not an advisor, but I was in banking for 17 years, studied finance, and understand the markets well. And this system, I hope it can change others' lives as it's changing mine, and that's why we share this with our community for free. We just ask that you please like, share, and subscribe to the content to help us out so we can keep it free. With that said, on the screen, I just want to show you a couple quick little things we shared today. Again, this is our X page at TCP_SuperSystem. Check us out there. You can see it's a pretty new page. We just created the page for this in April, so only 72 followers. We're not paying to get fake viewers or fake followers. So, there's services out there where I could have 10,000 viewers already, but we're not doing that game. So help us out. We appreciate it. So here is one from talking about, I guess, the Fed and other regulators pulling back on crypto guidance, which should open the floodgates, deregulation, etc. So let's take a listen here.
U.S. cryptocurrency guidance. This is interesting, guys, because the Fed said it was withdrawing supervisory letters that said that banks should seek advance approval from authorities before engaging in crypto asset and stablecoin activities. In addition, the Fed, the FDIC, and the Office of the Controllers of the Currency pulled back statements from 2023 that urged banks to be careful when it comes to crypto-related risks. During the 2024 campaign for the White House,
it's called Choke Point 2.0. I mean, God, this guy doesn't even know what he's talking about. I don't like people who can't do anything other than read a prompter. If you followed this guy, he's been against crypto from day one, not really understanding it. And you can tell right there, it's called Choke Point 2.0. Their banks were not even allowed to bank people that were involved in crypto. So it's just funny sometimes.
President Trump promised crypto investors that he would have their backs if he was reelected. In a statement announcing the latest changes, the Fed said that regulators would look into whether new guidance to support crypto asset innovation was appropriate. But it means effectively that I think a lot of those letters had scared the banking system sort of out of getting meaningfully involved in crypto. And now they're saying, do what you like.
Here's the question. I mean, because it's the Fed doing that, it's not like an executive order where it's going to get whipsawed if another administration comes in 4 years, I would assume. But
see right there. Why do you even say that? It's to scare you out of your positions, ladies and gentlemen. You're not designed to beat the corporations and the governments and the big institutions to the game. And for the first time in a long time, retail's first.
Again, the politicization of it probably has some things a little concerned about whether the winds would change again at some point. I guess maybe it's better because it's coming from the Fed.
Well, I think part of it's coming from the Fed, and it sounded like part of it was coming from
the administration. That's what I don't understand. This was part of the campaign promises to do these things. Again, businesses just don't like getting whipsawed by changes in administrations that lead to huge changes in policy.
I don't know if this means that all of a sudden you're going to go to your local Chase on the corner and be taking Bitcoin. But you can't take Bitcoin.
Look, I guess it does feel very different.
He has no clue what he's talking about.
It does feel very different in that crypto is becoming much more widely accepted, and maybe if they can get more regulation that kind of cements that, maybe it would make the banks feel a little better about it.
I mean, look,
Yeah, I wonder how many Bitcoin they own. I'd be willing to bet you nothing.
We used to interview Janet Yellen, and
Yeah.
she would always talk to you about the risks of it.
Right.
By the way, Jamie Dimon would talk to you about the risks
Right.
of it. So I don't know. It's interesting because there are people in the banking system.
I shouldn't have even.
U.S. cryptocurrency
that'll
guys.
make
This is
you
interesting,
angry.
guys.
All right, so here's another one from Lord XRP. Listen to Brad Gardenhouse predicting a 10x or even 100x for XRP. It's enormous potential. $20 to $250 could be the price in 5 years if they take over Swift. We will see 4 to 5 figures. We all know XRP has a future, and I can tell you after 17 years in banking, the Ripple technology and some of these, blockchains that have cross-border payment applications to it, they literally have the potential to save banks millions of dollars in cross-border payments, foreign currency, exchange fees, transaction fees, you name it. How quickly they can flip the switch and integrate. I mean, we know they've been integrating for 3 years. It was supposed to go live in April. Now it's May. So, I mean, we're only probably weeks away here. So just pay attention, folks. So let's take a listen to this. Let's see
The US dollar, arguably the best managed currency in the world, has been devalued through inflation by, over 90% in the last 50 years.
Is it 90% in the last 50 years?
If you do that, like just an adjusted, what was it, $100,000?
Purchasing power.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. Incredible.
So, do we think that's going to get better or worse?
Wow, with the printing press.
I think it's probably going to get worse.
Yeah, makes sense.
And that's the best managed currency. Yeah, and by the way, we can argue about, actually, I should retract that a little bit. One of the best managed currencies. And the US dollars, I think many would say, if not the best, and most
we're the reserve currency, yes.
Yeah, but I mean, and that's the best one. So,
right.
I think it's inevitable. And it's inevitable that, not right now we talking about is $2.5 trillion. Do I think this is an easy 10x over the next 5 to 10 years? Yeah, no problem. That doesn't.
Right from the horse's mouth, ladies and gentlemen.
It feels safe. To the earlier conversation around asymmetric returns, is there a chance that it's 100x in that time frame?
Mm-hmm.
It feels aggressive, but I don't know. I think that.
All I'm saying is 100x. Sorry, 100x. That's a $200 XRP token. Yeah. It's one of our largest holdings, along with many other people that we know. I think they would be doing quite well.
States particularly don't understand what it would be like to have lived in Argentina and have the Argentinian peso devalued effectively to zero multiple times in my lifetime.
All right, that's enough. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at SEC Chair Paul Atkins real quick.
So this is important work as entrepreneurs across the United States are harnessing blockchain technology to modernize aspects of the financial system. I expect huge benefits from this market innovation in terms of efficiency, cost reduction, transparency, and risk mitigation. Market participants engaging with this technology deserve clear regulatory rules of the road. Innovation, unfortunately, has been stifled for the last several years due to market and regulatory uncertainty that, unfortunately, the SEC has fostered. So I look forward to engaging with market participants and working with colleagues in President Trump's administration and Congress to establish a rational, fit-for-purpose framework for crypto assets. So
there it is for you, folks. It's coming. Now to the gold of the show. On the screen, TCP SuperSystem. Again, took me 2 to 3 years to fine-tune this thing. For those that are seeing this, you probably know how it works. I'll go through my quick spill. 3 components in the middle. You have the main indicator, which includes these yellow triangles and labels. Those are potential and confirmed trend reversals. You have the 3 moving averages, which we just monitor for support resistance. And then you've got what we call our most opportunistic indicators, dark red diamonds And you don't see one here, but dark green diamonds. These are light green, but there's dark green diamonds as well. And on the up and down side, those are typically the best areas of opportunity that we have historically found to do whatever we want to do. 3 hot sensors at the bottom, color scheme, crossovers, white, gray, blue, yellow, orange, red, to the top and to the bottom. Red being the most opportunistic time to either scale out, scale in, dollar cost average, or whatever you want to do. Again, none of this is financial advice. And then at the top, you got mean reversion data. You got the extreme zones in the hash lines, top and bottom. Opportunity zones, solid color. And then 3 lines, red being the most volatile and fast line. And then orange and blue. And we are looking for certain things to occur between the 3 in relation to price action. And we talk about those in our nightly alert shows. So pay attention, please. And on the screen, we have XRP. And we'll just again show you what this has looked like over the past couple days here. You can see, again, got that confirmed uptrend back on April 18th, so just a week ago. We then, obviously the cloud turned green. We went up, touched off this 50-day moving average. It retraced it now just a little bit, just like we expect it to, usually down to the top of that cloud, and then you'll see a run up most likely if we can maintain. Looking at the hot sensors, we can see we're on the top side of the long term, where we've crossed over on the short term. Now that medium term, we just need to see some improvement there. What I see that I don't like is that this is getting worse. It went from white to gray, so we don't really want it to go that way. We want it to stay above this green cloud. So, and then looking at the mean reversion data, we need this red line to stay up above the red opportunity zone, and we need the orange to kind of curl back and go up into the red zone. That's what we're looking for. So if that red comes back down below that red opportunity zone, may see some retracement here, so we need to pay attention here on XRP. Granted, in the long scheme of things, this probably has nothing to do with anything. XRP, cross-border payments, tokenization of real-world assets, probably being included in the digital stockpile. I mean, this is going to could be enormous. So that's XRP tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a quick peek at Bitcoin. Again, go back and look at our videos the last couple of days. You will see when Bitcoin was at 87,000, we called, and that was about less than 5 days ago. We called Bitcoin at 95 to 100 within a week, and we nailed it. So go take a look and you'll see why. And I can explain it to you here, but on the 17th, got the confirmed uptrend, green cloud. Got a little sideways action, which we typically say wait 1 to 3 days once you get these yellow signals. Then we got a little spike up through the moving averages, so now the 100-day moving average in blue will probably serve as support, I would assume here. Crossovers are all looking fantastic. Crossovers on all 3. Nothing looks over exhausted at this point to the upside. Mean reversion data, looks like our red line is still in the extreme zones, which is fantastic, along with the orange one. Blue's penetrating up through the red opportunity zone, so we're looking pretty strong here. So we'll see where we go the next couple days, but pretty excited to see this one on this one after the last couple months here. So, and let's see another one of our tokenization plays. Let's take a peek at HBAR. Oh yeah, this is looking good. So HBAR is our largest holding in terms of token quantity. Again, you can see April 17th confirmed uptrend. We've seen a spike since. Again, it's bouncing right off that 200-day moving average, that white line. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a little retracement here back to the cloud. But everything's looking pretty good. Crossover on the short term, approaching a crossover on the medium and long term. So we just need to see those materialize. And then we should be off and running. You got the blue up here going into the green opportunity zone with the orange above the red and the red in the extremes, which is perfecto. And then there's one other one I want to discuss tonight, and then I'll show you the alerts that came in today because there's only 2 or 3, and that is SUI. I want to show you something, and this is how our system consistently nails it. So if you take this measurement right where we got that confirmed uptrend and take it to the top of this candle we're at today, ladies and gentlemen, that is a almost 71% return in a matter of 4 days. 71%. That's not 7%. That's 71%. Now I want to show you something. This is how the system works. Again, you had your confirmed downtrend back here. You can see the cloud turned red. We came massively down. Never really hit any dark green diamonds. We did hit some light greens, so those are, you could have dollar cost averaged whatever you wanted to do, but you would have to really do some analysis on these other indicators to figure out if it makes sense. We still haven't got dark green down here, but what we do have is a confirmed uptrend with a crossover on the short term. It was improving on the medium term, improving on the long term, and bam, you get a spike. Now, what you notice is we are now getting some dark red diamonds. And historically, that would be great areas to scale out. But I want to show you another way to look at this is, and this one's going to be interesting. Hot sensors we're in the red on the short term, right? So usually when we're in the red and we have dark red diamonds and we're in the extremes, be careful not to be too greedy. I'll say that. Now, what you don't see is red on the medium or long-term hot sensor. So I would tell you historically what that would tell us is this cloud is green. You want to try to stay in that cloud as long as you can, right? But you could expect some retracements along the way. So if this thing retraced back down to the 100-day moving average, 295, I wouldn't be surprised. And then it could likely resume its trajectory upward, or it'll break through the trend. So, which we would be looking at the different signals to figure that out. But I would tread carefully here. Probably wouldn't exactly go all in here. I'd wait for some type of retracement because we are in the red, so it's a little overheated on the short term. It's not overheated on the medium or long term. So that's how this is interpreted. Again, not financial advice, but this type of thinking and this type of analysis, combining everything together, is what makes us very successful. So I wanted to share that tonight because SUI is, it's a little different than the other ones that we've shared, and this is a great example of how to leverage the system and really do some critical thinking before you make an action. And what this allows us to do is actually remove the fear and greed factor. Be smart, be intelligent, do the analysis, trust the system, and more times than not, we're on the right side of the trade. And then lastly, to wrap this up, I'll just show you the alerts today. We only had a couple that we wanted to share. We had a confirmed uptrend reversal for BitDeer. Oh, let me get back in here. For BitDeer, that's one of the Bitcoin mining companies. And you can see here, let's take a look. We have a crossover on the short-term hot sensor right when we got that potential trend reversal. We're getting a confirmed uptrend. It's just now beginning to transition from that red downtrend. So here, being that we also got a dark red diamond, this one's interesting. Probably, again, tread carefully here. What do we say when you get these yellow signals? 1 to 3 days. Be patient. Get some more confidence based on price action, and likely you might see a little retracement and a better opportunity. And if you don't, then you're going to still be on the uptick, so you probably won't miss out on a whole lot. But you could get a better entry here. Again, we're not really exhausted in any way, even though we are getting that dark red diamond. We just saw a nice, pretty good jump in a very, very short period of time. So what goes up comes down. So be careful there. Mean reversion data, red lines in the extremes like we like, orange penetrating through that green opportunity zone, blue approaching it. So that looks fantastic. What I would like to see The color schemes on the medium term and long term are improving. So red, orange, yellow, blue, then it's going to go gray, then white, and then crossover, etc. So we would like to see a crossover on one or both of these. And yeah, we should be good to go. So watch BitDeer. That's one of the Bitcoin mining stocks, not crypto. So watch that one. And then we also had a potential trend reversal to the upside for Medical Properties West. That is one, or I'm sorry, Medical Properties Trust. That is one that we watch here locally. They are a public company. Looking at it, honestly, it's not too sexy here. Short term is showing some weakness. The hot sensor is below the midline. It is white, but it's not in an extreme zone. So, I mean, this thing could go either way. We're also hitting a 50-day moving average support resistance line, so this thing could continue downward. And I'll be honest, looking at this, sorry, let me get this back on. There you go. Looking at this, since we had this potential downtrend and it went down, bounced off this 200-day, bounced back to the 50-day, we're kind of stuck in no man's land. The red is above the red opportunity zone, but it's not in the extremes. Orange is trying to turn over back below the green. Blue is, looks like it's trying to curl back into the red. So, I mean, this would be an area that I avoid, just the way I think about things with the system. So I think there's either probably a better opportunity if you wait to get more confidence and let it move a little bit, or see a retracement and get a better entry. But that is the way we see this one. So those were the alerts today. We went over Bitcoin, XRP, SUI, and some others. Hope you enjoyed it. Bottom right's fiat leak. We always keep it running just for fun. Again, this is free, ladies and gentlemen. I'm giving you access to information that took me 2 to 3 years to figure out and to build, to automate. Help me keep it free. Please like, share, subscribe. I greatly appreciate you, and we will see you tomorrow in our next daily alert show. Best trading.